is the water, this water that is in the ocean, is exactly the same that the water you drink? Well, it's not the same. It tastes salty. So inside of the seawater, we have salt. So what can we do? We can say to the kids, okay, if we're going to model this, what happens to the ice when it melts, what happened to the sea level, maybe we should have seawater. And how do we do that? Well, with tap water, we can add some salt. And with this experiment, we also can explore for older children. We can talk about proportions, and we can say, okay, for half liter of water, we should add 1 spoon of salt for half liter. So if I have 1 liter of water, like I have here in this, sorry, I'm going to just move here some things. If I have a bottle of 1 liter of water, how many spoons of salt should I add? So should I add 2? So we have some math here. So the children can do this model with something similar to seawater. And because we have, for 1 liter, we have 35 grams of salt, they can measure with the scale, or they can use just 2 tablespoons and add here. Okay, and also they can we can talk about also density in different kind of water. So we can do the same experiment and testing if different materials they have the same if they float exactly the same way in tap water or in salty water. So we can also talk about density with different fluids. After this, we can say, okay, so if we have seawater from the sea, how can we have the salt? So we can add another experiment and we can say, well, how can we have this salt? Just putting some water outside and wait for a while. The sun will evaporate all the water, and in the end, we'll have crystals. Let me see if I can show you. So we can talk about how can we get some salt crystals from the water. We can talk about different ways of separate materials, and this is one. After we do this, we can say, okay, let's look to the shape, and now we can talk about, again, math and shapes, the shape of this crystal. And I think it's difficult live to see, but we can use a magnifying glass that I have here, one. Let me see if you can look the shape of the crystals. And kids can make also the draw of these crystals. But because we are talking about STEM activities, we already talk about creativity when the kids can draw the landscape of the model of the ocean and the continents, and also they measure temperatures, they measure distance, and we can produce our own magnifying glass. And how? Well, each children can have a magnifying glass with very simple materials. Just a plastic bottle, like this one. They can draw a circle in this part of the bottle. They can cut and have their own magnifying glass. So this plastic If we add some water here, they put some water, I hope you can see it, inside, and then we can use this as a magnifying glass. Probably it's difficult to see, but I will assure you that just a simple plastic with water like this, with this shape, with this round shape, and you have a magnifying glass. So if you have a class with 20, 25 students, you can have a very simple magnifying glass for each of your students, and they can bring this home and watch lots of things with their own magnifying glass made by them with a very cheap resource.